Alright guys, so here we are up in the front doors. We've gotten the back door off, and now it's time to remove the front door. Again, this is an X5, our stage 1 upgrade. The front doors, exactly the same as the rear. There's one extra screw that's different from the rear doors, and that is here behind the little airbag tabs. So again, we're just going to take our panel removal tool, carefully pry that out. And there's going to be an extra Torx T20 back there. So we'll just remove that. And that's really the only difference, except the fact that it's larger. The mid-bass installation is done identically. The larger speaker's down in the bottom of the door. That's done the same way. So if you watch us do one of them, you've watched us all do them all. So you don't have to watch it time after time. And of course, there's no sunset. Hey, look at that. All right, same thing again. Very carefully, take your panel removal tool. Then get your fingers behind it. Pop it off like so. Place this somewhere where it won't get scratched. And again, we've got one Torx T20 here and one back in the handle assembly. Get these guys out of here. As you can see, this is not nearly as difficult as you may have thought it was. So, armed with this knowledge, you can replace your window regulators when they inevitably go out on you, and other fun stuff. Now, one thing that is kind of different is we do want to get the controls out. On the driver's side, you've got all your master control switch here. This is just our little window control here. It can be tricky. You can get it from the back side. I like to go ahead and get it out from the front. Again, just taking your panel removal tool, just very carefully, just get it up under there like so. Start a little pry. And then, the trick on these cars, get this front lip up, keep your thumb there, and take your panel removal tool and come in the back. Comes right out. You never break it, you never crack it. That way you don't ever have to worry about anything. Isn't that a complicated switch for one window? I thought so too. But it's actually the master controller for all the windows. So this little guy here, we just pry it out. And then lift it off. Really nice little switch. So, with everything free again, we've got the little light down here. Don't forget I always forget these lights. If you forget it, you're not going to hurt anything. It'll just pry your lights out. Again, go ahead and test to make sure. Hey, look at that. We forgot the most obvious one, like I told you guys. Every door has a super obvious screw, which I like to forget about that one. So. You would have realized it when you tried to pull the door off and it didn't come. So. All right, that guy's out of there. Now we want to start with the door again. So I take, again, in the hole of the light, take a nice firm grip and just a good pull. And this one came free the first time too, the little clip that's back there. Austin can kind of show you guys what's going on. All kinds of fun stuff coming out of here. So we've got this whole door came off in one pop. Usually you've got to work a way around and get all the little trees out, but that's cool. So this one actually just comes straight out. No lifting up, just comes straight out. You got to lift it up over the lock switch. So just like so. And again, the lock mechanism's the same. You just lift it out of there. See, when you put it back in, you put it down and it snaps in like that. You just squeeze this little guy here, pull all of our wires out, and that's how you get the front door off. So we'll go over the mid-bass and removal here in just a moment, and show you guys how to get that out of the car, as well as the tweeter installation to go over that. So we'll join you back momentarily. All right, guys. So here we are. We're actually in the left front-hand door of an X5, again doing the mid-bass removal, factory mid-bass removal. But what I want you to know is that all four doors are done identically. Each pod is held on by 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws. We're going to be reusing these pods. We're going to remove this factory driver from the pod and put in the new driver. So be careful with that. Basically, just each speaker is going to unplug. Just push in the little tab, lift it up. That'll reveal the little screws here. This car, like I said, it's already had stuff done to it, so your car's not going to have sound deadening material in it. But if you ordered the sound deadening kit, this is how you do it. Just put it on the metal behind where the speaker mounts. And that's it. Comes out like so. There's your window, and your window regulator's back here. So now that the mid-bass is out, we can go ahead and do the mid-bass install and get everything back together. So now with the door panel off, we just need to move up towards the windsail here by the side mirror and remove the factory tweeter. It's located right behind this grill. It's very simple to access. This should just take a couple of minutes. You can see right here there's a little fastener, a little plastic fastener. So what we're going to do is take our panel removal tool, pry it out like so. Actually, it should just stay in there. It's fine. And then the little tweeter pod just lifts right out. And there's a couple of little clips here. Just pry it out of there. We don't need to gain access to much. Now, this car, I can tell you, they've already put an aftermarket system in. In your car, ooh, they even left the bolt out. I'm going to replace that for them. Your factory tweeter is on a little bracket right here. This is a Torx T30. You're going to use a Torx T30 to remove the factory tweeter bracket, bring it out of here, and then we'll take it up to the bench and pop the new tweeters in at that point. It should be in here, of course. Obviously it's not. So that's how you get it out of there and get the factory tweeter out of the car. It plugs in right here into this little plug. So just unplug it, and you would have already had the bracket out of here. This particular car, like I said, they've gone and glued a tweeter into the. Oh, they've had all kinds of fun here. So that's how you get it out of there, and we'll show you guys how to get it back in just a moment. All right, guys. So now with the new speaker attached, we're just going to drop it down in the housing. Take our left hand, or if you're left-handed, you can use your right hand. We're just going to keep this pushed up into the pod. You see, it sits on a lip in here. So just take it to that lip, keep it pushed up in there like so. Take your hot glue gun. It's kind of hard to, BMW glues it in there. We're going to do the same thing, just do a better job of it. So just don't be shy with your glue. Just blob it up in there. And try to do the whole perimeter if you can, but just to get it up in there and situate it, just blob it around there. We want as much contact between the ring and the pod as possible, so just blob the glue down onto the pod and let it run down onto the ring. It's going to be the best way to form a nice tight bond. So I just kind of do that all around the back side, just blob it all in there. Go ahead and go grab any pieces of anything else in your house that are broken while you're gluing all this stuff here. Just get it all done. So now we've got a good amount of glue all the way around the perimeter. Then you can take the whole thing, flip it over. So we've got the driver like so. And that'll just begin curing. It only takes a couple of minutes. And the weight of the speaker is pulling it down and keeping that seal tight. Then I just take and I make a nice clean bead along this front edge. Hey, you just ran out right as we were talking. As you can see, I just made a nice little bead right along that whole edge of glue. And not that we would need it, I like to put too much glue. So that's not a bad thing. So with the glue done, front and rear, we can just take the pod back over to the door and plug it in and finish up with the install. We're almost done. As you can see, this whole process, I think start to finish takes me about, half hour, 45 minutes. So let's take this back over there, and you guys should be done within about an hour and a half, all 10 speakers in the X5. We'll see you at the mid-ranges.